Hi everyone, this is Melissa Stinson for Two Peas in a Bucket. I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of Project Life 2013 with the Garden Girls. This week I'm going to address two threads that were on the forums about a month ago about mixing and matching papers and colors from different collections. I'm going to start with a set of color palettes from a website called The Sweetest Occasion. Now, taking a color palette like this and using it to mix and match papers from lots of different lines and different collections is one of my favorite ways to pull together a kit of supplies. With these three, I went with the idea of having some sort of blue and orange, and in the end decided to select this one that also included a bit of pink and aqua. Right away, this color palette reminded me of the new Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm collection that just arrived in the shop last month. And while I'm not basing this entire kit on that collection, I do want to start with a couple of papers from this line. Right away, you might notice that there's some yellow in this collection that's not really in the color palette, but it is in the lemon in the mini mood board that's included, and so I know that it's going to work with it. And I want this color palette to inspire but not constrain my choices, so again, with the aqua that's more blue in the color palette, I'm going to substitute the more greenish version that's in Lucky Charm. I actually have the collection pack of papers, so I'm showing you the rest of the patterns in this line. And I'm going to select just two of them to go into my kit. Of course, this cut-apart sheet is perfect for Project Life. And I also want to choose one of the multicolored sheets from this collection. Right now, I can't decide between the triangle print or the chevron, so I'm going to set them both to the side, but I'm going to select just one eventually to use in the kit. There are also some great embellishments in this collection, many of which are perfect for Project Life, especially if you like to keep a flat album. The selection of stickers and tags you see below are some items I pulled out as possibilities, and since I don't mind some dimension, I also pulled out some flare buttons. So I'm going to start with these supplies and go dig through my stash and my scrap basket and see what else I can pull together to make a kit. Right away, I've decided that instead of using this chevron print, I'm going to use a triangle instead because of the scale of the patterns. For Project Life, when I cut a 4x6 section of the triangle, I'll see more of the pattern than I would with the chevron. Now, if you really wanted the chevron, you could take the same sheet from the 6x6 pad, which is of course at a smaller scale, and use it as well. Moving to another new collection in the shop, I'm selecting this arrow print from Amy Tan's Yes Please collection for American Crafts. I love the pink in it and it goes well with that palette. And also an orange priority stripe that also matches the orange in the palette. And they both go very, very well with the pink and orange in the Dear Lizzy collection. A few more embellishments from Yes Please. This sticker book is just full of such cute icons. And also a nice set of pockets. Now, there are 8 of these in a pack. They're called Brainstorms, and they're self-adhesive. You just pull off these adhesive tabs on the back, and you can adhere it to your page and include ticket stubs, journaling, any kind of ephemera. This yellow sheet is from the Day to Day collection by Ellie Studio, and I like actually both sides of this print, both the aqua stripe and the yellow. And also a selection of journaling cards from that same collection, especially the aqua and yellow tab top cards. And also there's a navy blue one, let me dig down to the bottom here, that will work nicely. And also some selections from these cut apart sheets. So far we've taken a look at items that work very well together, but let's look at an instance where perhaps things don't work quite as well. I'm going to start off with a selection of papers from 2 older collections by My Mind's Eye. These are from The Sweetest Thing, which I know I use constantly, but it really does match a lot of the collections in the shop. So of course I'm going to choose that cut-apart sheet again. And I've also got 2 sheets from Indie Chic. Now, the colors in these match the color palette. They have nice geometric shapes in them, so they match the feel of the kit very well. But the distressing on them is quite different. A lot of the distressing in the pages I've chosen so far is a watercolor feel, and these are a bit more grungy, and I haven't gone in a grungy direction with this kit at all. So we'll set them off to the side and instead look at some papers from The Sweetest Thing. Now, 3 of these are a match, but 1 not so much. I love this blue and yellow print, and it matches the color palette well, but the style and feel of it is really clashing with that triangle print. And I think that these 3 floral prints are a better choice because while they're still florals like the other, they're more geometric. So we'll just select that yellow one, even though any of them would have worked, to add to the kit. From some older collections still, I've pulled out several old Studio Calico sheets, including a cut apart from the Take Note collection. I've already used a couple of these, so I dug it out of my scrap basket to get some more use out of it. And while I was there, I found some pieces from Heyday. That's actually a small 3x4 piece from the 6x6 pad, and that's a full sheet from the collection, along with the sticker sheet. The orange map is from Abroad, and that white hexagon I added just to have a neutral is from Classic Calico 2 and is still in the shop. So not only can you use full sheets of paper, but using a color palette like this is also a great way to use your scrap sub. Here I've pulled out 2 scraps. One's a 6x6 piece in the persnickety pad, and another is the doily print from the same collection that match that navy blue color. And I've also selected the ABC stickers. And last, I've pulled a set of Acorn Avenue by Crate Paper border stickers that incorporate a lot of those colors in the palette. Now, I know I've pulled out a lot of supplies here, but my idea is that I'm going to keep these together after the Project Life layout is done to work on regular layouts as well. There's one last thing I'd like to take a look at before we get into making the layout, and that's a new tool in the shop from Lawn Fawn. They've recently started making dies to match some of their stamps, and this one matches the Quinn's ABCs collection. You can use it with the stamp, so you cut the letter out of your paper and then stamp the outline. But I actually like to use them by themselves because they cut a wide variety of mediums, including, as you'll see in just a minute, fun foam, or those craft foam sheets that you can get at the craft store. Now you can split these alphabets apart. I like to leave mine together just because I find it easier to be able to cut the whole alphabet at one time. But these will work in just about any roll-through die cutting machine. I use a Sizzix Big Kick, which is the same as the Big Shot. And so I'll sandwich it up with the multi-purpose platform, and then one of the cutting plates on the bottom, the dies, the fun foam. This is actually a gold glitter. I was really excited to find that. And then another cutting mat on top. And then you just roll it through like any other die sandwich. And I'm actually going to have to swap to rolling through the top. It's a whole left-handed, right-handed thing in the way I was filming for the camera. It actually rolls through very easily. And so in just a second, I will get to take this apart and show you these perfect little alphabet stickers. And I like this because there are gold glitter thickers in the shop right now, but they're a little big for my Project Life layout. And these are small and just the perfect size. So now it's time to start scrapbooking. And as I'm laying out the photos, you'll see that I have several collages this week. Some of those I made in an app on my phone called PicFrame, and I have an iPhone, but it's also available for Android, so yay Android users. And some of them I made in Lightroom using a variation on the method that I showed in last month's lesson. And next, I'm going to start filling up the 3x4 and 4x6 pockets where I need journaling cards and some background paper. Started with the Ellie Studio tags, and now I'm moving on to some 4x6 bits of paper, and also 3x4s. Now, I know that it can be a little nerve-wracking to cut into a piece of paper just for a 4x6 or 3x4 piece. Since my scrapping tends to use smaller pieces of paper anyway, I rarely use a full sheet unless it's for a background. I don't mind doing that, but I've also found that it can help cure those first cut jitters where a piece of paper is just so pretty that you don't want to cut into it. It's kind of hard to mess up a 3x4 or 4x6 cut, so it's a good way to take a first shot at using that paper and kind of take the newness out of it so you're not afraid to use it on other projects. So you can see that I'm having trouble figuring out where I want to put this pink piece of paper, although I think I've finally found its home. I really did want to balance out that pink card in the top left-hand corner. And now it's time to add a few last journaling cards. That Remember Today card is actually from the Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm pack. I had a few sitting out besides the full pack that I had that you'll see me open in a minute. And swapping around a few papers, I think I like that navy blue behind the flowers more. And I'm trying to find a place for that triangle paper where it won't be so obvious and quite so busy, and I think it works pretty well behind that journaling card. Now here's an instance where I didn't cut a full sheet. I recently worked with that Heyday 6x6 pad and remembered I had a small 3x4 piece of that pink print left, so I used it instead. And that doily print may not be an obvious choice for this style of page, but I thought that behind those pictures from the aquarium, the little pieces peeking out actually look like coral. But it left some navy blue kind of really clustered up, so I moved a few of those cards around to try to balance that out. I knew I wanted to use this flare piece from Dear Lizzy. It says, "Let's go be adventurers," but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it yet, so I'm just going to stick it on this pink piece as a placeholder. And this piece is also from the Dear Lizzy Lucky Charm. It's one of the cut-apart pieces. It's a little tall, so let me go trim the edge off and stick it back in. Now here's the full pack of die cuts, and I'm just going to flip through. There's one in particular that's a star that I'm looking for. I don't normally make a full title card, but this week I really like that constellation paper and I have an idea for one, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And also maybe that banner piece, as you can see, I'm really indecisive about that. I'm still not quite sure how to embellish that pink piece. But now I do know where I want to use that flare button. And I'm going to actually put it on the outside of the page protector so it doesn't push it up too much. I'm just going to slide that into the pocket and then put the flare button right on top. I actually paused the video here just a minute just so I could make a few embellishment decisions. So you'll see me put some things down really fast, but I really did take about 10 minutes or so to decide what I wanted to use. And right now I'm just using several pieces from the Ellie Studio Day-to-Day tag collection, including this navy blue hello that I'm going to stick over on the picture of Tigger who climbed up into my bookcase. And I've also selected an accent from this Dear Lizzy sticker book. Now this is the perforated sticker book, and they do pull apart really easily, but you kind of have to bend them to get them started. They're self-adhesive, and like I said, they're really easy to get out. You just have to make sure you start them well enough to pull them apart. Next up, I'm going to do a cute little embellishment on this picture of my husband having coffee. This is his morning ritual. He is not really awake until he's had his first cup of coffee. And I have a Dear Lizzy sticker here that says, "This is my happy place." But since this is about him, I'm going to modify it just a little bit with those Lily Bee Persnickety Alphas. And I'm going to take the navy, which I've been using as an accent, as you can see all over the page, and just overlay his on top of my. And at this point, I'm getting really tired of things getting pushed around, so I went ahead and glued it all down. And now it's time for some of those cute little glittered stickers that I cut out with the Lawn Fawn dies. And I've finally decided how to embellish this pink card. These small banner stickers are from the Heyday sticker sheet, and I'm not liking the yellow with the gold too much, but I think that on the end, it's going to be okay. And I'm just going to lay 3 of those banner pieces down, and then line the stickers up next to it. Now, I cut these out of self-adhesive foam, so they do stick on their own. And if you've done DIY glitter thickers in the past, you know how little bits of glitter can hang off the edge. That doesn't happen with these. They get the perfect rolled edges like you see on a thicker, and they're just unbelievable. You have to see them in person. And now one more sticker from the Heyday sheet, but I don't want the aqua and aqua to overlap, and while I'm at it, I really don't like the yellow, so I'm going to swap it out for a brown sticker. So we'll put the brown, and we'll put the aqua on the end where it will be away from that sticker, and now that's good. I have another place I want to use these gold letter stickers, and you might notice that as I do something on the right-hand side of the page, I try to do it on the left and vice versa. So the gold stickers are going to be reflected across the page, and I'm using these to make a date card. Like I said, I don't do these every week, but I had an idea for one this time around. I'm going to start out with the month, and then I'm going to use these tiny little Lily Bee stickers to put the days on. Now, the Lily Bee stickers can be a little hard to get off the sheet. I find it easier to kind of bend it a little bit to get a corner started, and then pull the letter or the number off. Otherwise, they tend to shred as they come off the sheet. And just get that positioned, and there we go. Now these blue letters were also cut out of foam, but it's not self-adhesive, so I'm going to put some glue dots on the back of them. But you'll notice also the hints of navy all over, the hello, the true story at the top of the tag, the our routine. I've just used it in little bits to accent across the page. And now I'm going to go to my printer and come back with my journaling finished. And one last bit of embellishment that I want to add is at the top of this journaling card where there's an empty spot. And again, embellishing with another navy blue sticker from Lucky Charm and a tiny bit of yellow on the edge. And I think that will do it. I don't want to over embellish this week. And time just to tuck everything in, and here's the finished layout. So your creative challenge this week is to use papers and embellishments from 3 or more scrapbooking collections and link up your project in the gallery by the end of the month for a chance to win a $10 gift certificate to the Two Piece store. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great weekend.